Welcome into the best podcast in the world, Cheating on Fat, where the fat is burning and the wheels are turning. I'm your tall, dark, and handsome host, the fatty daddy himself, Danny Mabley, and to my right I have the Italian stallion, John Arpino.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. We got a fun one today, an extra fun one today.
Super fun.
Okay? What are we talking about, Johnny?
We are talking about the things that fat people don't talk about.
The things that fat people don't talk about. First thing that comes to mind, for me, we're going to get right into it.
Here we
We're
go.
going in hot, okay? Wiping your ass.
Okay. All right.
So, I've been lucky that I figured out an alternative. I used to just be a sitter, you know, a good hand behind, classic wipe. You go in between your nuts. Not only between your nuts, but also your nuts.
Right.
You know, if you have them. But yeah, you know, just a usual guy. And as I got bigger, it was more difficult to do, you know? For some reason, my right shoulder is more mobile than my left shoulder. Anyways, let's get into it. I had to adjust. Now I have to stand to do it properly.
Really?
And yeah. Just the way I gain weight, like I gain a lot of weight in my upper body. And yeah, so slowly I just wasn't able to reach all the way back and down. So I started to have to literally stand up. I have to like put my shoulder into the wall.
Yeah.
And then I can do it as normal.
I used to do, well, I still do the whole, you lean on one side and you lift up sort of gimmick. But it's all your weight is literally going on one arm. That way you can get the leverage to get underneath.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so that didn't change when you were...
Well, no, I mean, that's how I've always done it. There was a couple of times where like I had to get up and wipe, but definitely for me, it was always just to lean over and get just enough space to get back there.
Yeah. I know for some people, like because I was like, is this just me thing? But like apparently some people have to buy like an extension arm.
Yeah, like a wand.
Yeah, to do it. So, like I said, starting off hot. This is stuff that really people aren't putting on the internet, and I think it's important just to, you know, everyone talks about like, oh, you can be a healthier person at, you know, a bigger size, and for some very few people, depending on the way, I think that can be true in a way. But I think for the majority, there's a point where things change, where things shift. And I think there's not just in your physical appearance, but in your day-to-day life, how you feel, the things you want to do, how you have to adjust to do them. Like even just going up like a flight of stairs, you know, like you take advantage of the easiness that it is to just go up and down stairs when you're in a healthier body, and also just like you're being more active. Most people, their activity level kind of coincides either up or down with how much weight they are. Of course. It's not always the case. I've definitely met some people that like have been at slightly less weight than I am now, at around 350 pounds, that have run like marathons. Like I could not fathom. Yeah. Like I think I'd fall.
I couldn't run a marathon right now.
Yeah, I think I'd be paralyzed for like a week.
Absolutely.
So, you know, and I'm active. I play right now. I'm just starting to add more activity in. It got, for a while there, I was definitely sedentary a lot. But weight training, playing pickleball. As I get leaner, I'm going to start adding basketball again, because that's a bit more of a, you know, back and forth.
So there's no height requirement on basketball?
We're going to end this podcast early, folks. Thank you for coming. That's rude. Okay. But yeah, so that's started off. That's the first thing that came to my mind. What's the first thing that comes to your mind as far as things that you don't see often?
A big one for me was I couldn't fit in my own shower, right? So like standing shoulder to shoulder, like with the water hitting you straight on the back, I couldn't do that. I would have to get into my shower, and growing up, my shower was like a deep tub that you'd have to like climb into with a sliding glass door. So I'd have to leave one side of the glass door all the way open, shimmy myself in, and then I would have to wash my body one side, get out, turn around, and then wash the other side of my body, because I couldn't rotate in the shower. So that was like a really, really big one for me. And then, like you said, also like the taking the breaks while going upstairs. I used to call them texting breaks. So I used to pretend I was getting a very important text, and I would have to stop midway on the stairs and finish up my text.
I mean, like I'm starting to do it now, where I'll go up, you know, one or two flights, but like if anything's more than that, I'm avoiding it for sure.
Absolutely.
And when I was like really not in a good place, and I was heavier and I was inactive, like, yeah, with no chance. Like, just elevator. Where's it at?
I mean, listen, I don't love stairs to this day. I'm very active. I do an hour of cardio every morning. I strength train rather. But like, I mean, I just don't like stairs. I find them to be annoying.
Yeah, no, for sure. The shower, like, tight spaces for sure. Like, when I was traveling a lot last year for work, I definitely noticed like some airport bathrooms were pretty snug. Like I'd have to like go past the door,
in the airplane itself. You're saying?
No. Oh, airplane is not even.
Yeah, that's not even an option.
I don't even risk.
Right.
Yeah. On an airplane. Let's get into that. On an airplane, I have not pooped in an airplane in 2 years because, more than that because before that, but once I started traveling more. But yeah, like there's no chance.
Yeah, it was like 15 years.
I don't understand how it would be like. I don't know if it would be possible, and if it was, like, it would be time.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like figuring this out.
I think that's my favorite NSV, so non-scale victory,
Yeah.
is definitely being able to fit in an airplane bathroom. So, like, even if I don't have to pee now and I'm on a plane, I purposely go into the bathroom and I'll, like, stand up, do a total 360, and I'm just like, wow, I could still fit in this. And it's mind-boggling to me because I was the person who had to buy 2 airplane seats forever, every family vacation, everything. Like, if we didn't buy 2 airplane seats, then my little sister had to sit next to me because I would take up more than half her seat, you know? But another one for me was, did you ever notice that when you tie your shoes, you bend over to tie your shoes, you hold your breath?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge one. And I feel like no one really talks about that one either, you know? Because I couldn't do the whole cross my legs, tie my shoes. Even to this day, like, it's still shocking that I can even cross my legs.
Yeah. I do the cross legs for me. Because standing to then try and bend down, like,
right.
It's difficult for sure. With the airplane too, obviously the seats, you know, some planes, depending on which ones, like I will have to use an extender. Mm-hmm. When I started to use an extender, I have a story about a seatbelt extender of being a bigger guy. Mm-hmm. I was on a flight one time, and I'd never used an extender. I was avoiding them like the plague. Like I would literally tuck my seatbelt in to make it look like it was done up.
That's what I would do.
And because I just I was embarrassed at the start. Now I don't give a shit. Yeah. But at the start I was like, no. That was almost like, yeah, I'm big, but I'm not that big type thing, you know? And I remember I was on a flight, and 2 rows ahead of me there was this bigger young guy and his dad. And I didn't see this happen, but when I got on the flight, I guess his dad had been like, hey, can I get an extender for my son? And so I'm sitting in my row, like, you know, minding my own business. And all of a sudden I hear over the PA, hey, we know someone asked for a seatbelt extender. If this was you, can you please let one of the flight attendants know? I was like, oh, that sucks, right? And no one kind of speaks up. I don't see anyone moving. I was like, oh, I wonder who it is. And anyway, so this flight attendant, bless her heart, you know, nothing, you know, maybe someone didn't tell her the etiquette. She comes up to me in my row and goes, sir, and I've had my headphones in, sir. I was like, yeah. And she's like, did you want a seatbelt extender?
Oh, God.
And I was like, nope.
Wasn't
I'm good. I've avoided it this whole time. I can't believe this is happening right now.
Right.
And I could see the guy then, as soon as this happened, I saw the guy like in the 2 rows ahead of me be like he was even like, frick, like I'm trying to do this subtly, right? And both 2 people I know in my life are flight attendants, and they even were like, oh, like, yeah, one of the first things you learn is to do it as discreetly as possible. So, you know, maybe that's a new thing. She probably had been on the job for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. Maybe not. I had that experience, but so nothing to her. But yeah, it was definitely like
that's terrible. Yeah.
Please no.
I'm having PTSD just for that.
And then he eventually got his, but even the dad was like, man,
come on, dude.
Yeah. You know, I was trying, clearly he was trying to ask for his son to make it discreet. Yeah. But yeah. So that was one of my most, like, I just put my headphones back on and like pretended the rest of the airplane didn't exist, because that was an experience. But yeah, so a few air flights, I have to use them on. Mm-hmm. But I also I avoid the middle seat, at all costs.
At all costs. I'm an aisle guy. I'm cool.
See, I was a window when I was a little bit skinnier.
Right.
Now being a bigger guy, like the aisle, you get a little. When things aren't going on in the aisle, you get a little more room.
Yeah.
And you feel like it's like the least burdening on someone else.
Yes.
Because like at the end of the day, like, hey, you know, we all got to get somewhere. Yeah, I know I'm a bigger guy. My bad.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is
yeah.
what it is.
100%.
But like, I'm not going to be like, I know some people are very self-conscious about it. And I've had people message me being like, hey, like, I'm really, really nervous to, like, haven't flown years, or I haven't flown at this body type. Like, what do you have to worry about? Like, I just feel bad because I'm like, you know, I'm in someone's space.
Yeah.
It is what it is, you know?
So like for me also, like that was something that I dealt with a lot, was like I always felt as a burden to people when I was bigger. Like just maneuvering through a large group of people, I'd always be like, I'm sorry, excuse me, shimmying like this, you know what I mean? Like trying to make myself as small as possible.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I just always felt like I was a huge burden on everyone else around me. And that was just my constant mindset. Like, nobody wants me here. Nobody wants the fat kid here because I'm just in the way. Like, this is uncomfortable for everyone. It's uncomfortable for me, but I feel bad for everyone else around me because, like, I'm sitting here, I'm sweating profusely probably. I look like there's something wrong with me, and I'm just embarrassed. You know what I mean? I felt like a large zoo animal on display.
Damn. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The crossing people, and like when it's tight, especially, yeah, it's like, oh, sorry.
Yep.
Like I don't know. It doesn't hit like hard for me. Like I notice in the moment, but then I'm like, whatever, I'm over it. But definitely it's like, damn it. Like, you know, it's inconvenient for sure. And you just know people are like looking at you and being like, oh, this big guy, like, or, you know, whoever you are. It's interesting. Like I said, this is stuff that like goes through your brain. Like there's a few classic ones that people talk about, like the, you know, if you're sitting on a couch, you hold the pillow, your safety pillow.
Absolutely. I love the safety pillow. The shirt pull is a classic.
The neck line over the chin.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like that one a lot.
I think I still do that. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Even when I was like leaner, like I would once in a while just felt comfortable.
It just feels comfortable.
I do it with my chain a lot.
Oh, I'll always do this. Always. All the time. Another one for me, and I think this one actually gets discussed a lot, is if I were to go somewhere and order food, I always pretended as if I was ordering for a large group of people. You know what I mean? So like I would pull up to Taco Bell late at night, and I have totally blackout tinted windows in my car. So I'd pull up to the drive-through. I would say what was my order, and then I'd be like, hold on one second. Hey guys, what did you say that you wanted? And have a full fake conversation with people that did not exist in the back seat. Yeah. Wow. And then pull up, get the food, and then I would eat by myself, obviously, in a parking lot alone. I would find wherever there was not a lamppost in the parking lot,
I can really
pull in, eat my food, enjoy it, and then back out and act like, you know, nothing ever happened.
I feel like for people who struggle with their weight, eating in the car, like stuff that you don't want other people to see you eat,
Absolutely.
Let us know if you can relate to that, because I feel like that's one of the most common things I hear. And dude, I've done it, especially when I was like really in a bad place. Like I was doing it every single day.
Absolutely.
And like me and shout out Tony Reyes, we talked about it one time, as far as like even you try to hide it, like you know, from if you're with someone or friends. Like for me, like when I was, it's funny, this is not the case for everyone, but like for me, when I was like really down and overweight and like I was going through things in life. It wasn't just my health, but it was a little bit of depression for sure. But you just get a little bit messier. You know, you're not as tidy with things. And so I would leave like the wrappers and like the bags of fast food in my car. And I've taken photos during it, because like I would, and one day, like when I finally get down, I'll share them, but photos of like literally like 2 Pizza Hut boxes, a McDonald's bag, a Jack in the Box bag, like a 6 different fast food restaurant garbage in my car at one time. Now you've been in my car, so like it's pretty clean. I keep it as clean as possible. Right. But like at that time, like it almost like coincided with where I was at mentally, was like how I was living, and it was disgusting. Like looking back, like my house was messier. Like here, like once I moved here and I started working on myself and bettering myself, I really was like, I want my life now to reflect like the person that I'm wanting to become. And so like cleaning up after yourself and being more tidy with your house, with your hygiene, all that stuff, like it all works together.
Absolutely.
You know?
To that point, I think, so like I definitely was the type that would leave wrappers in my car a bit, but if I knew that I was going to be around people.
Oh no, you
right.
hide them.
Hide them. Yeah.
You
If
throw
it
them
never
away.
existed.
Stop at the gas station.
Exactly. As far as anyone is ever concerned,
100%.
I'd never eat food a day in my life. You know,
dude, I would even do it sometimes. This is horrible, but it's going on the internet. I would do it sometimes where I would like wake up in the morning, pull in somewhere to get like Starbucks or something, and I'd still have like the remnants from last night, and I'd pull up to the window and be like, "Oh shit!" And like I don't want the fast food worker or the Starbucks worker to see that like this big guy has been eating fucking everything, you know.
Absolutely.
Throw bags in the back seat.
Yep. Hide all evidence. Yep.
Yeah.
It's the worst. I think another one for me was definitely, this is going to be different, but I never wanted to be the fat, smelly, gross, disheveled kid, right?
Yeah.
So I always took a lot of pride in, I had to smell good, so I always had expensive cologne. I had to look good, which meant, for those that shop in DXL, you know there's the graphic tee section, and then there's
we have
Polo Ralph Lauren in the back.
There's the Miami.
Right, and then you have the Tommy Bahama, Tommy Vassetti from GTA, Vice City. But yeah, so like I was like, if I'm gonna be fat, like that's it. Like that's all you're gonna have on me. I'm not gonna be unhygienic. I used to take like 3 showers a day, constantly smelled good, constantly looked good. That's what turned me into a huge sneakerhead, because I was like, all right, if I can't fit in normal size people's clothes that are like very fashionable, then at least the clothes that I have on will match the sneakers that I have on, will match the watch that I have on, and et cetera, et cetera. So I was a big watch guy, big sneaker guy, and a big hat guy. Had an extensive New Era collection, and everything just always matched, because you were not going to catch me slipping in a Walmart special, that just wasn't me. I don't know, like, do you remember Top Dog? Do you remember I think it was called Top Dog or Big Dog back in the day?
I remember some of those brands.
Yeah. So like, to me, and mind you guys, when I say this, like, I was already well over 500 pounds, but I didn't want to be another 500-pound dude in a Joe Cool shirt or a smiley face shirt. You know what I mean? Like that stuff used to drive me nuts. So
yeah, I mean, just to carry on the shopping. Actually, right before we go, the shopping, like, it's pretty much like DXL, Amazon, and like some.
Oh, I lived
some
in
specific.
DXL.
Yeah, but that's the majority.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Once you get past like a 3, 4XL.
Yeah, or kingsize.com. I never used to trust that site.
I don't even know that. But yeah, once you get past 3, 4XL, it's like, you just walk in a store. It's like, nope, not gonna work.
Oh no, never.
I've always been like, I carry a lot of majority of my weight up top, so like I would still be able to fit into pants like very long time.
Right.
Like I think even being where I'm at now at like 350, I'm like a 44, 46. I think my highest ever was like 48.
Were you are you an over the belly guy or an under the belly guy? Under. I was a
yeah. Because if you go over, like, you're way bigger size.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's almost like a stylistic choice. It's not like one or the other is right. Some people like what's this? There's a few guys I follow online that do the over the belly style. They're like, plus size, like, fashion dudes.
Absolutely.
And looks great. What's that one guy's name from the Bear? He's the chef, Canadian chef.
Well, what season? Because I'm only in like the first part of the second season.
Yes, season 1. He's mustache. Like he's very popular in Canada. Anyways, he wears over the belly.
Okay.
And I've always been like, and every time I tried it, it just doesn't feel right for me.
So I was always an under the belly guy, forever.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it was my grandma at the time or like my dad, but someone had a big conversation for me. It was just like, hey.
I'm surprised. I feel like over the belly is a more common thing within like Italian culture.
Yeah, well, that's why I got yelled at.
Yeah,
it was like, you got to put it over the belly. And I used to be like, no, like I don't want to do that. That's uncomfortable. And then like my jean size will literally go up like 15 sizes if I do that.
Yeah. And
the cut in the stomach, I hated that. Like when it just is super tight and then like you get the line. Eventually I lost this battle and like I had to be an over the stomach type of guy.
Full Sopranos?
I went full soprano and yeah, it was terrible because my biggest jean size was a 75 at DXL. And like that's a big pair of jeans, but
holy crap. Yeah.
Yeah, I could fit a family of 4 in my jeans. Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah. And I'm anywhere right now between a 32 and a 34.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I still like, even to this day, like I question myself every time I put on a pair of pants. Cause like now I'm just like, do I wear it exactly on my waistline? Do I bring it a little closer to my belly button? Like, I don't know where clothes go now. And like,
Yeah. Well, now it's like the 70-30 or whatever it is. Like, so your pants are supposed to be 70% of your outfit or something like that.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
Then 30% of like, it's a lot of crop shirts.
right.
Yeah. It's an interesting time for style.
But being trapped in a DXL for so long and like big and tall like that, like to this day, I don't know where to shop. Like it is such a mind
really?
fuck. Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm a big finding clothes that are, once I find them, like Lululemon shorts, best shorts in the game.
Hell no. There was like a convenience factor, I guess, with just knowing that you were going to go to one store and it was going to have everything that you need, basically, right? Because you could buy underwear, socks, shirts, everything at a DXL. And then now having so many options, I get paralyzed by analysis now. If I walk into a mall and like I want to get out as quickly as possible because I don't want to look around to 9 million different stores. I don't know what looks good. I think that I'm a fashionable guy, right? But at the same time, I'll walk into a mall and everything that I know leaves my mind and I'm like, what am I supposed to wear? Like, what looks good? What are people into right now? And it drives me up a wall.
Yeah. I follow like an 80-20 rule with fashion. 20% of the time, I'm like a proper fit, and 80% of the time, I comfort.
Yeah.
Like, people who can do it every day, props to you. It's just not something that likes natural. Even when I was leaner, like it would be either athleisure wear or it would be like, okay, I'll put on like a fit to go out or something.
Absolutely.
But like people would wake up and put a fit on every single day. Nah.
But that was another thing too, because like I didn't want to be the fat kid who was always in sweatpants.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I had to buy jeans.
But especially sweatpants back then were a no-go. No. Sweatpants now are like acceptable form of attire.
Correct.
Dude, when I was younger, if you went to school in sweatpants,
no, you were a fool.
Even if you were skinny,
yeah,
or it doesn't matter what you look like, you'd be like lazy.
Yeah,
like,
what are you doing?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
You came to school in pajamas.
Yeah. That's interesting how times changed. I like it. Sweatpants are awesome.
Sweatpants are great.
Yeah, they're style, and now they're like made stylish. Like they cut differently and everything.
Oh yeah, a Nike Tech
clothes have come a long way. But let's get into what people probably came here the most for,
which is
let's talk about sexy time.
Oh, the sexy time.
Sexy time, dude. Being someone who has now been morbidly obese and then skinny twice, kind of almost. It's night and day difference as far as everything gets more difficult as you get bigger when it comes to having sex. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
Like things don't work as well. This is not the case for everyone, but
yeah.
I feel like my body structure, like just certain angles, I'll like cut off blood flow.
Yeah,
and it just gets difficult. A lot of times, it's still good, no problems, but it's definitely something like when I was leader, never every question, you know, never,
right.
I know it's going to be 100%
do
every time,
you
know? Now it's like 80, 90% some of the time. Mm-hmm. So that's something, you know, that I've had experience. And like I said, this isn't everyone's experience, but there's probably some people who can relate to that. Positions, obviously certain positions are just no-goes.
Stamina. Stamina was a
stamina.
Stamina. I'm going to say it the way I want to fucking say it. You say tomato, I say tomato, all right?
Just moving letters?
Yeah, I'm just moving letters, all right?
It's not a plant, it's a pound.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, no, stamina for sure. I've had my feet cramp before.
Oh, I've had every part of my body
hamstring, feet.
You ever pull a glute muscle during it? That's like the most embarrassing thing in the world, because then you got to get up and you're like, ow, ow, ow. I pulled my ass. What do you mean you pulled your ass? No, I pulled my ass.
I didn't touch your ass. Yeah. No, you didn't pull my ass.
I pulled my ass.
I've definitely had a hamstring go, and I had to be like, oh, fuck. And then be like, oh, is everything okay? It's like, yeah, just one sec.
Yeah, absolutely. And hygiene. Seriously.
Yeah.
So like circle back to that, like 100%.
Yeah, pay way more attention to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing, like being, like I shower every single day. Not when I was leader, definitely like go 2 days, maybe 3 sometimes, you know. No, like like if you look like not everyone showers every day. I thought that was what.
So did I. I'm just letting you know.
Like I have to.
I have to shower every day.
Being as big, you know, for me, like just you're just sweating more throughout the day, and you have more creases, and you gotta get in there and get it right.
Absolutely.
But also like that's one of the most like for me it would be the most like I'd be so embarrassed if like something was off when I would like knowing that I was going to the act. Right?
Oh yeah.
So it's like if I know something is a possibility, I'm showering right before.
Or just like, this is gonna sound weird.
I think everyone should do.
If you know, make sure you shower.
If shit happens,
wash your ass, wear deodorant.
If consensual,
do that.
Spontaneity happens, then it happens. You accept what you take. But if you know something's going down, let's tidy up.
But when that magical time would come upon us, there was a time where like I wouldn't get naked. Like I would stay in a t-shirt and in a pair of boxers and shimmy my, you know what I'm saying? But like, I would never, my partner could do whatever they wanted, but I was going to, I was not taking off my shirt. I was not taking off my underwear.
Did you ever have a woman be like, hey, take your shirt?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. And I would be like,
because I will say, like,
also, I want to preface that when I say all the time, I don't want myself to sound like a whore, by the way. I am a married man. I don't want to sound like an asshole.
I'm a proud hoe. If I'm not with someone, which right now I'm not, there's no in between. It's either like, I'm a proud hoe, keep it consensual, keep it safe, everything like that. But if I am in a relationship, then it's like lockdown. There's like no in between.
But I will say this too, and a lot of people don't like when I say this. Dating for me when I was heavy was not that hard. Like I know there's guys out there that have been heavy.
We just talked about this.
Yeah, that have been heavy their whole life, and obviously, romance is kind of difficult for them. But for me, I don't know if it was just like I knew that if like I was a big guy, my confidence had to be there. Like you were never gonna catch me not being confident. I was always loud. I was always, as Danny likes to call me, aggressive, because I found out over the last 24 hours that I'm a very aggressive person, apparently.
That's not what I said.
And that is 100% what you said. And I like to be the center of attention.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
You know what I mean? So like I was always quick-witted, always quick with the tongue. Like, wow, quick with the tongue. We're just going there. All right. Anyway, I think you should take over from here.
Where were you even going again? I didn't lose my virginity till we talked about this, 19. I wanted to wait till marriage. Ended up not. Then when I lost the weight, like you go from having nothing to everything, and it was went through a phase.
Absolutely.
But for me, like. I didn't have confidence when I first lost the weight or was bigger. Sorry. I do now. Like now I'm like, no matter what size I am, I think I'm a handsome guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think, if you talk to me, get to know me, I think you too, buddy. I think that, like I want to talk, I talk to anyone like not thinking first, oh, I'm a big guy. I have no chance. Like I keep myself open. This is who I am. If you like me, cool. Was not like that before, right? And when I was younger, I was really not good with like talking to girls and like trying to like. It just came. It was for everyone. It applied to girls, but it was for everyone. Like I just tried to be everyone's friend. I tried too hard. I just say just weird things. Like I just would try to be like the off or like funny person. And I didn't know like how to do that in like a way that made sense to everybody.
Right.
So when I finally started to lose the weight and I was like, okay, well now I want to like actually, somewhat know what I'm doing. I don't want to be a douche. So I didn't want to learn from like the weird shows that were online at that time, like the Keys to the VIP in Canada and stuff, where they would like go in and like have challenges to seduce women in like clubs. Oh, look this up it's the cringiest.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It would be like a bunch of judges, dudes. And they would like send people into a club, and then they would watch them, like videotape them, and they would have a challenge. Like you have to try to kiss a girl in the first like 5 minutes. Which, don't do that. Don't do that. That's
first
weird.
5 minutes.
That's weird because that's pressure and that's weird and that's don't do that. So they do stuff like that, and I was like, this is not good. No. Even a young kid, I was like, this is not right.
How you do it?
This is weird, interesting to watch because it's so bad. But no. So I looked up on Reddit like seduction, like how to talk, how to make yourself feel more confident, come across more confident, what things to like, what conversations. Like I learned kind of the baseline of like just feeling comfortable enough to like talk to women, and so that honestly helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Just like to be able to have a sense of confidence, and then like I just built it myself over time. But for people who are, just feel like, I'm just not good at that or whatever, like it's literally like everything else. It's just practice, like getting yourself out there, getting more comfortable, gain confidence is something you can build.
Absolutely.
It's not something that you just have or don't. Some people do, some people don't, but it's something that you can work at and build.
100%.
So that'd be the one thing for sure. But yeah, when back to, the sexy times, one of the most common things is like, does it get bigger? And yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely does.
It looks
bigger.
Yeah.
The fat around it decreases, so it increases, if that makes sense. Like, yeah.
If you currently are interested in a free and non-supplemental way to increase the look and size of your wiener, then losing weight can be something that you can do today for the mere price of $0.00.
Fact.
But yeah, you'll always have the same size that you were born with, that you matured with. But as you lose weight, you get to use more of it because it just like different positions.
There, yeah.
Getting into different positions. Like obviously it's going to be more in, more out. There's the fat of the area around it. It looks different. So I would say people always say that it looks different, but I would say for your partner, it's going to feel different. Like you're going to be able to
feel different.
You're going to be able to get more of it in there.
Get in there. Yeah, that, and I was about to say something and then I totally forgot because you said that. We were talking about penis.
You just started visualizing.
Yeah,
I did. I did. Haven't we covered everything sex-wise yet? Also, by the way, we're two dudes. So like if you're a woman listening to this,
I'm so
like,
sorry.
What the hell?
Yeah.
One, sorry. Two, comment below like what things you like as a woman, if you've lost weight or whatever, like experience.
Absolutely. Because I can't relate to being a woman, and
Yeah, because we deal with our own insecurities, and everyone does. So like, let us know in the comments.
But I also, growing up a fat kid and a fat young adult, I always found it really comical when, like, again, this is locker room banter or whatever, but like when guys would, say to you in person or comment online like, oh, well, you can't even see your dick. Well, yeah, no shit, pal. I'm 520 pounds and we haven't seen each other in a very long time. Like, I don't know why that's but yes, that is the reality of the situation.
Keep it super real here.
Yeah.
Recently, because I've lost like 30 pounds, I just started seeing the head pop up.
Hey.
I'm like, hey, buddy.
Like whack-a-mole. Like, hey, there you are.
How you doing?
How are you? It's a good feeling.
Yeah.
It really is. Honestly.
Yeah. Envious of the large dudes, bigger dudes that also are packing, because
Packing heat.
it never goes away.
Right. They never lost it.
You lose a little bit. It's all there.
And then they get an extendo on it, and it's crazy.
I feel you in some ways. This is the realest podcast ever. People are going to listen to this. Like, what is going on? All right. I think we've covered that.
I think we hit all of the marks.
Yeah. What else? So we talked about bathroom, sex, airplanes.
I always had to lease a bigger car.
Okay, yeah, that I've never got to.
Yeah, so like ever since I started to drive, like I always needed either an SUV or a car that was like a boat. Like, so like when I got my license, my first car ever was a Chrysler 300, the one that looked like a Bentley, but it was a big bodied car. So like it was like driving a boat. There was a lot of room, whatever. After that, I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Again, a lot of room. After that, I had a Dodge Durango. And then when I had my Dodge Durango, that was like in the midst of really like when my weight loss journey was hitting. So like at the end of that lease, I was down probably like 250 pounds. And that was when I was like, you know what? I've always had really big SUVs. I don't need the cabin space for me like that anymore. That's, I got an Alfa Romeo now. And hey, listen, I know what you drive, right? So,
they're both about the same class.
yeah, I would say they're about the same class.
I was looking at Alfa Romeo before I got my Genesis.
The Stelvio is beautiful. The only thing is it has no back seat. Like it has a back seat.
Oh, it's SUV?
Yeah. So it's,
okay, I looked at the Giulia.
Okay, I love that car. My cousin has that car.
Quadrilago, or whatever it's called.
But again, tiny back seat. But anyway, that doesn't make a difference. The point I'm trying to make is like,
Or is that the Maserati? I'm sorry. No, focused on cars.
so the car that I drive and the Maserati Levante are the same car. They're the same exact car, except one has a Maserati logo and mine has an Alfa Romeo.
I think it might be confusing too.
But anyway,
go back.
I say that because like I didn't need the space anymore. And even to this day, like when my seat is positioned and I realize how much room is between me and the steering wheel, it still shocks me to this day because even in the biggest of cars, like my stomach was rubbing up against the steering wheel.
Yeah.
There was no getting around that.
Yeah.
You know, so you it's something that you don't think about, that you're actually going to have to spend extra money on a vehicle because you need the bigger space. It's just you have to do it.
Yeah. I never had that. I never got to the size where that was an issue, but going to restaurants was.
Oh, yeah.
Like if I went to a restaurant and there was an unmovable booth.
Nope, leaving. Bye.
And that's all they had, yeah. Right. But if not, like I would see the woman like leading, or the hostess or host, who it was, leading us to the table. And like if I saw that, I'd be like, hey, can we get a table? Like,
You're right.
You know, or yeah, like I've definitely like gone and be like, oh, I don't know if I can sit anywhere here.
I mean, PTSD. I still walk into a restaurant and we'll be getting walked to a booth, and I'll be like, no. Can we get a table? And I've sat in a booth recently, and obviously I have the room and the distance, but it's just something that's just so ingrained in my brain that it's just like, no, I can't sit there. Or I'll just be uncomfortable, you know? And I hate that feeling. I really do. Like it's crazy looking back now, how many accommodations I had to subconsciously give myself. You know, it's really rough because obviously the world is not made for fat people, right? And like that's an argument that I see online all of the time. And I truly I feel for everyone who's still in that situation, and that's obviously why we
empathize with it. But yeah, I guess the point of where like we need to start making buildings bigger.
That I don't support.
What are we doing?
Yeah, right. What are we doing? Like there comes a time where it's like, all right, are we just allowing this to continue on? Yeah. You know?
I mean, I think there's, you know, yeah, it's a fine line, but
everything's a fine line.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we covered most of it. I guess the only thing else I can think of for me personally was like, say if like friends are like, hey, we're gonna go on a hike on Saturday.
No,
we should come. And it's like, no. And I remember one time I started to lose weight. I was like, I've lost 20 pounds. Like maybe I can do it. I remember doing a hike with my friends when I first started all this and getting, you know, past the flat parts, and I was doing all right.
Okay.
And as soon as I got to like a big incline and I was starting to hold everyone up, I was like, look, I'm just gonna go back, guys. You go ahead. And like I remember like on the way down, like crying to my car. Like this was when I was like 19, 20, the first time I was losing weight. But I was just like, I was so not just upset that I was holding everyone back and embarrassed, but it was like that was just like a trigger for everything else.
Absolutely.
That was like apparent that this was causing.
So that was me on my senior cut day. So senior cut day, everyone in my high school, they would go to Six Flags Great Adventure. And I'm a roller coaster junkie. Like that is my thing. And I remember we get to the park, and the first roller coaster we sat on line for was El Toro, which is like this wooden coaster. It's legendary, whatever. So we wait in line for like 2 hours for this ride. And then I finally get to the front of the line and I go into the seat, and like 3 dudes, this is not an exaggeration, are trying to close the lap bar on for me. And then finally they were like, hey buddy, like you got to get off. Like we can't hold up the line anymore. And I remembered that feeling just like a swift kick to the balls and just like the walk of shame afterward. And that was the moment where like I looked at myself and was like, you officially cannot do the things that you want to do.
That sucks.
And it was such a shitty feeling. And then like for the remainder of the day, I just had to follow my friends to rides and then not get on the ride because I was not going to face that embarrassment again. You know, that was so rough. It hurt so much, just mentally and emotionally. It destroyed me because like that was a really big thing for me growing up, was going to like my family every year would go to Hershey Park every single summer, and I'd ride roller coasters all day long until nighttime. And like that adrenaline rush and then having it taken away from me for so long, because it was years until I got on a roller coaster again. And it was just like, I remember the first time, because when I finally was just like, I think I can fit again, you know? I went right back to Six Flags Great Adventure. First ride was El Toro, and I rode that motherfucker 5 times in a row. 5 times. Screaming my head off. You know? But yeah, that was a major one for me.
Yeah. I had something similar, but not that I couldn't get on it, that I shouldn't have been able to. And I went to, where I was born, Chilliwack, there's this lake called Cultus Lake, and Cultus Lake water slides are a thing. And every one of them had a weight limit of like 300 pounds. And I was like 340 maybe at this time. And I was like, it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
no one's stopping me, like whatever. And most of the rides were fine. Like I definitely would like slow myself down a little bit, but you know, it was reasonably good. But we did 2 tube ones and it was with my little brother too. We did a double tube, went down, and like we were halfway down, and the amount of air we were starting to get, I was like, I need to abort mission because there's so much momentum because of my weight, like that we're gonna get messed up. And
that sounds like
so
ER
before the last jump, I like dipped and bailed out, and he went down, and it was fine. But like, yeah, I was like, oh, this is why there's a weight limit, because like I was cooking.
Yeah, you had to be.
Oh, dude, like I was like, I'm gonna just send off like 10 feet off this last drop, and it was not good. It's crazy. I bailed, and I was like, okay, we're alive. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's a story that goes with the whole process. Is just as you gain weight, like slowly doing less and less of the things you love to do.
Absolutely.
That's one of the worst feelings you can experience. For me, it was skiing and basketball were 2 things in my life that I remember like, this is just too difficult now.
Yeah.
Like it's, especially with sports, like, yeah, you can maybe force yourself to be as good as you can, but then everyone else is like, oh God, dude, why is this guy bringing us down? Like,
So like for me, growing up, I played sports growing up, right? And when I say growing up, I mean like the highest level I ever got was like pee-wee football. You know what I mean? And that was not so much, it was a weight factor, but for me, it was more of an asthmatic factor. Mm-hmm. My asthma really sidelined me for a lot of things. So like I wasn't playing tag with friends growing up. Like I was that kid who had to like just watch everyone kind of do everything. But I remember in high school and late in middle school, early high school, everyone in my town played handball. And I couldn't play. And like my best friend, growing up, my friend Nick, he would try to get me to play all the time. I'm like, dude, I can't run to get the ball. Like I can stay in this one spot and I will gladly just keep serving. But other than that, like I can't go chase this thing all the time. And like that really sucked because like everyone in my town would go play basketball. They go play handball and you'd be at the park, from dusk to dawn. And it was just like, or the opposite way, dawn to dusk, right?
no, you're good.
No, I did it right. I'm not done. Okay, cool. And just sitting on the sidelines, it was absolutely miserable. Yeah, absolutely miserable.
Yeah, being picked last all throughout my childhood was great. Love it. But yeah, no, those are some of the realities, and obviously there's stuff that we're gonna miss. So if you watch this, comment down below some of the things we may have missed or talked about, or if you relate to anything, let us know. I think that's the wrap on this one. Maybe a quicker one than other ones, but it's just fun. I think a lot of people are. Well, I just one died. So it's just me. No John. John's camera that's on him died. So thanks for watching, everyone. Comment down below. Stay sexy, stay cool, keep it positive, keep along your journey, and we'll see you guys in the next one. You girls, guys, everyone, we'll see y'all, folks, in the next one.
Apparently just see Danny.
Here, pop in.
Oh.
Bye.